Welcome back to the Free Mouse MC YouTube channel, and as you can see, I am sitting here on the new Triumph Trident 800 that's not even out yet, because I am on the global press launch with a German motorcycle magazine, which has the benefit of me being able to review this motorcycle for you. And from the first impression, I think the bike looks really good for a naked bike. I really like the line between the buck spoiler and the rear part of the bike. So first impression is good. I now rode it already for a bit, and I'm going to share with you what I think of the riding experience of the Triumph Trident 800. Let's go. So I now made it back from exploring Cyprus on the back of the Triumph Trident 800. And first of all, I had a pretty good time. The main thing that comes from is, in my opinion, the body position. Let me sit on this motorcycle. I'm 1.95 m. I'm showing also someone who's 1.75 m, so you kind of have both perspectives, and the motorcycle is really comfortable. Not just when I'm now sitting on it with the knee angle and with my pretty straight back, but also after 6 hours of riding through the whole day, I didn't feel any pain anywhere on my body, which is pretty good, because a motorcycle that doesn't hinder you in riding, as in you don't get the unconscious excuses of my back hurts and all of a sudden it's cold and you end up taking the car. This works really well, and it's, for me, one of the biggest strong suits of the Triumph Trident 800, that it's just a motorcycle that doesn't get in the way of experiencing motorcycle riding. Which makes a lot of sense for this motorcycle, because this is a middle-class naked bike that can also be very well used in day-to-day riding. And that works really well also in combination with its high service interval for daily riding of 16,000 kilometers of its 798cc three-cylinder engine. It has the same three-cylinder engine from the Triumph Tiger Sport, and that one works really well. It produces 115 horsepower and 84 newton meters of torque. It's a lot of fun. It has a lot of grunt down low, and also at the top it still feels good and punchy.
Another thing I really appreciated was the for a three-cylinder pretty strong engine brake, which makes riding downhill quite a breeze. This also works really smooth when downshifting with the quick shifter. In general, it has to be said that the quick shifter on the Triumph Trident 800 works really well. You basically only have to use the clutch to get going and to stop, and when shifting gears it feels eerily smoothly. It was almost irritating, to be honest, how smooth this went. In contrast to that, when shifting the motorcycle, normally it takes quite a lot of input for the bike to shift gears, which fits the pretty raw riding experience of it, but is quite a big contrast to the smooth quick shifter. Before we continue talking about the engine and the rest of the motorcycle, let's have a short listen to the engine sound.
At the same time, I never felt overwhelmed by the engine. It was always a good time, but it was never too much, which I really appreciated, because the Triumph Trident really nails that line on where a motorcycle is fun on a twisty road and fun on the weekend, but still can be daily rideable. We had some more full of traffic sections, some urban riding, and also got caught in the rain. And these things usually don't look good on YouTube, but they're really interesting for a motorcycle test, because the bike behaved well there. There's no trouble when driving slow with this motorcycle. It never feels uncomfortable in that regard. It's never tough to manage. That all works really well. And then when you get to the fast riding, it's so fun just swinging the bike through the turns. I had a really good time. The handling feels well and refined of the Showa upside down front suspension with its 120 millimeters. The front suspension is also rebound and compression adjustable, while the rear suspension, also from Showa with 130 millimeters, also works really well. It's good fun. One thing I occasionally noticed when swinging the bike from side to side, and there's a weight transfer over the motorcycle, that you feel that in the suspension like you're going over a bump. But that's a small issue. I think it's worth ignoring. It also has to be said, we now didn't adjust the suspension for this ride, so everyone basically rode with the same setup, everyone with the same weight, and I am a bit heavier, so the rear suspension is also freeload and rebound adjustable.
And in general, it has to be said that you get an incredible bang for your buck here, as the motorcycle in different markets is differently priced, but in the UK it comes in at 9,195 quid, while the price in mainland Europe is going to be between 9,000 and 10,000 euros, which is pretty competitively priced, especially if you take into account what the bike comes with.
The motorcycle has a cornering ABS and a corner traction control. And that works really well here because the traction control doesn't just like all of a sudden take the power away and tells you you messed up, but it basically sees how far the bike is leaned over and then gives you that much power which it thinks it's appropriate. And then when that works, it slowly increases. And that feels like it's not interfering, but at the same time, most likely that means you are a bit slower than you usually would be. So that kind of depends on your preference. In many ways, this bike feels very raw and very uninterrupted, like a very unfiltered riding experience, and most likely that kind of way of handling the topic of traction control also has something to do with that. The motorcycle has 3 riding modes, and you can feel a significant difference between the 3 of them. It's rain, road, and sport.
The biggest difference in between the modes is between road and rain, and the rain mode definitely makes sense, and I got to figure that out by getting caught in the rain. Also, the Trident 800 comes with the Michelin Road 6, which is quite a good tire for all kinds of conditions. When I last saw the Trident 800 on a motorcycle convention, I think I still saw it on the Michelin Road 5s, so pretty cool that they made that improvement still. The motorcycle has one downside for day-to-day riding, and that is that if it rains, that your whole back gets dirty from the tail section being a bit too short for stopping all the dirt coming up from the road. The tank holds about 14 liters, and this will get you an estimated 300 kilometers of range. A personal highlight of mine, I really like the tank lid of the Triumph Trident 800.
I think this motorcycle is great for everyday riding, and I really also like the looks of it. One thing that really especially came to mind is how there's a line between the belly pan and this rear section of the motorcycle. That looks really aggressive and is a nice styling cue. Often there's a discussion with the front headlight of the old speed triples with the dual front headlight. I personally like that. We now here are looking at a 3-cylinder motorcycle of Triumph that comes with a singular front headlight. That's a personal taste thing, but I think it's all right. And even though I'm a fan of the other one, I see what they're doing here, and this looks good. And it's a nice little bit something away from how other naked bikes look, but at the same time it doesn't lose that with here this little windbreaker. And in my opinion, the bike is really good looking. I only have one slight complaint about the looks, and that is the mirrors. I think the bike could really do with some bar end mirrors, and we also saw a lot of pictures of the bike with bar end mirrors.
However, as you see, bar end mirrors are available as an extra.
Otherwise from that, the bike did a really good job in all different kinds of riding situations. We today had rough road, we partially had pebbles on the road, we had mud, we had heavy rain, and the tires did all of that really well. And for stock tires that come with the motorcycles, I'm really happy with them. And all in all, I gotta say, the motorcycle did a really good job, and for 9,900 euros.
I made a mistake here. The bike is 9,195 in the UK, and in Europe between 9,000 and 10,000 euros.
It has myself reconsidering what kind of bike I want. So my final verdict on the Triumph Trident 800 is that it's a pretty good everyday ride that then also ends up being pretty sporty on the weekends, which is, I think, something that speaks really close to home for people and that a lot of people want, because for the average motorcycle rider's life, that's a really, really fitting bike. So I think these bikes are going to sell like hot bread, and I was really happy with riding it today and had a great time. Definitely leave your opinion on the Triumph Trident 800 in the comments, and see you guys in the next video.